My snake plant has a few drooping leaves. This can be caused by a few things, including not enough light, a root-bound plant, or potentially overwatering and root rot. This is sitting pretty close to these very large windows and gets a lot of indirect light and a decent amount of direct sunlight as well, so it's getting plenty of sunlight. It's possible that it's root-bound. We're going to pull it out and find out, but my assumption is that it's probably due to overwatering. There's a few reasons why it probably gets overwatered. Possibly I water it too often, though I do feel the top of the soil and down a couple inches to make sure it's dry before I rewater it. But it is in a pot where I can't see how much water is draining out the bottom each time I water it. It's also potted in predominantly a peat moss, which is going to hold on to a lot of water. It's been in this pot for 4 or 5 years, so it's probably time for repotting regardless. I don't see roots coming at the bottom, so I don't think it's root bound. There are roots way down here at the bottom, but it's not bound at all. And there's a lot of extra material in here with no or minimal roots in them. So I'm gonna get rid of a little bit of this extra and loosen up the root ball a bit. I'm gonna put this back in a pot with maybe slightly more horizontal space, but definitely not more vertical space. This doesn't need an especially deep pot. Okay, that's a pretty small root ball for that amount of plants. I don't see any clear root rot down here at the base of the drooping plants, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to replace the soil with something that's going to drain a lot better. I have a cactus mix. I'll probably mix a little bit of this peat moss back into it, so it's not as drastic of a change, but this is still damp from watering it probably a week ago, so I definitely want something that's going to drain better. I have a few different options for the new pot here. This is the original one. I think I'm going to go with one that is about the same height, but slightly bigger around. I'll also put a few rocks down in the bottom and some soil to get it started to make sure that this is sitting up a little bit higher than the very bottom of the pot. And these leaves that I cut off, I'll put in water as temporary decorations, and they will eventually put out new snake plants. And none of these leaves that were drooping are severely soft, like I've seen very severely overwatered snake plants in the past. So it's possible it was some mild overwatering. Now the snake plant, with better draining soil, being in a terracotta pot that will dry out the soil faster, and being in a pot with a drain hole where I'll be able to see the water come out the bottom when I water it, will be significantly less likely to get overwatered. It also has a little bit more space in the horizontal direction. It was about time for that, considering how large the plant was.